So, yeah, coming to this Karmanya Vadikaraste point, right? Or the renunciation that Krishna is explaining in chapter 18, which he already summarized in chapter 2 in Karmanya Vadikaraste Shloka. So, what it means is perform your duty, but don't be attached to the results, is like what Swarit mentioned, right? You keep a goal, you have a vision, and you give your 200% to achieve that goal. But in the end, if that happens or does not happen, you should not be frustrated with it. If it happens, you should not be too excited about it. And if it does not happen, you should not be frustrated about it. So, like somebody can keep a goal of becoming a senior director in the next 5 years. Swati, do you have the goal in Facebook?
Meta.
You don't know what happens in the next 5 days. So, but still you have to keep a goal that, okay, I should become senior director at Facebook, in the next 5 years. Otherwise, there is no motivation for you to work, right? And now what happens after that, that's not in your hand. Even after you give your 200%, whatever happens after that, you should not be attached to that.
Mark Zuckerberg comes with a good news. Mark Zuckerberg comes with a letter.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. No matter what happens, you should not be worried. So, and Krishna is telling for our own benefit, actually. See, when you are attached to the end result, right? If it does not happen, you are so frustrated. It leads to anger and so many other problems. But if you're not attached, you're okay. You'll be like Sthita Prajna. Okay, so I gave my 200%. At least I have that satisfaction that I gave my 200%. Now, if it did not happen, okay, whatever I did, it's my learning. It's my learning, and it will help me in my future endeavors. So nothing is lost.
Correct.
Nothing is lost.
This is applicable in everywhere. I mean, spiritual, material.
Material, spiritual, yeah.
There's also a very famous quote that is going on for last few years online, especially online, and that Lord Krishna has said this. I don't know the source of the quote. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whether it's in Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam or some other Upanishad, I don't know. But it is there online for many years now. And I've been reading it many different places. Is if you fail to achieve your goal, change your strategy. Don't change the goal.
If you fail to achieve the goal, change your strategy.
Don't change the goal.
Don't change the goal. Yeah.
So I think it also resonates in the same way that still keep striving for what you want.
Yeah.
Don't think like, oh, I didn't got Krishna Bhakti, let me take Shiva Bhakti.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep striving for it, and I think I've seen many examples, big examples. You keep working hard, and you will get it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. With one pointed determination.
Yeah.
If you strive hard, then you can achieve. Yeah. Okay. So that is in the beginning of 18th chapter. Krishna tells that different philosophers say differently. That somebody will say that abandoning all the activities is sannyasa, and some people will say not abandoning the activities but abandoning the results of it is the sannyasa. Now Krishna gives a clarification saying that you perform your duty but with a detached mentality. So don't be attached to the results. That is sannyasa. And also you need to do that at a right time. You need to do that at a right time. Otherwise, it can be a false renunciation. Somebody who wants to renunciate, somebody who wants to take up the renounced order of life, sannyasa, they have to do it at the right time in their life, not at a early stage prematurely. If they do it prematurely, then they can create havoc in their life and in the society. So there is this term used as Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya versus Falgu Vairagya or Markata Vairagya. Markata Vairagya. Markata is monkey. So if somebody is renunciating prematurely, it will be like a monkey renunciating things. And how long monkey can stay calm? Not even for a second. Not even for a second. Monkeys, our mind is actually compared to monkey. So we can see to ourselves. Now our mind cannot focus on one thing even for a second. So just like that, monkey cannot remain stable in one place for a second. So that is a premature renunciation is called Markata Vairagya, monkey renunciation, or Falgu Vairagya. That can create havoc in their own life and also in the society.
What is Falgu?
Falgu is false.
Oh,
basically. Yeah. Falgu. Yeah. So after explaining this, the meaning of sannyasa, tyaga and sannyasa, then Krishna starts summarizing entire Bhagavad Gita. First, he explains how one can get purified through karma yoga. And then he explains how one can get purified by following Varnashrama Dharma, the four orders in the society: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Okay, these are the four classifications that Krishna created in the society, so that people, according to their qualities and abilities, they can perform certain set of activities, and they will be called either Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. It is not by birth, but it is by their qualities and their activities that they perform. They will be called either Vaishya, Kshatriya, or Shudra, or Brahmana. And then Krishna tells how different activities like sacrifices, charities, austerities, how they are different in the three modes of material nature. We discussed the three modes of material nature in chapter 14, mode of goodness, passion and ignorance, sattva, rajas and tamas. So Krishna explains how various things differ in these three modes. For example, how one's intelligence can be different in the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. How one's determination to do things is different in the mode of passion, goodness, and ignorance. And how one's understanding of happiness is different in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So Krishna uses an analogy. There are two beautiful shlokas in 18th chapter in that section where Krishna explains how one's happiness is different in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Krishna tells what appears like nectar in the beginning, but poison in the end. That is happiness in the mode of ignorance. And what appears like poison in the beginning, but nectar in the end, that is happiness in the mode of goodness. So like that, Krishna tells about various things and how they can differ in these three modes. Okay. Now, whenever we take up any new activity, right, within the spiritual world, whenever we take up any new activity of sadhana, now that may appear like poison in the beginning. Okay, like for example, chanting 16 rounds. Okay, so if you calculate the time it takes and the way you have to sit and chant, all those things, everything appears as if somebody is imposing some punishment upon you. It feels like some poison in the beginning. But if you are able to tolerate that for some time in the beginning, it will become like nectar in the end. So what feels like poison in the beginning, but turns out to be nectar in the end, is happiness in the mode of goodness. And on the other end, somebody may be tempted to getting some instant sense gratification, that feels like nectar in the beginning. But for example, alcohol, right? So alcohol or taking drugs. So no doubt, it feels like nectar or heavenly thing, out of the world experience in the beginning. But over a period of time, slowly, we will see the results that are like poison, negative results. So after some time, there will be health issues or mental issues. And then it appears like poison in the end. That kind of happiness is in the mode of ignorance. So like that, Krishna tells how one's intelligence, how one's determination to do things can differ in these three modes. Okay. And then Krishna tells how one can get purification, how one can rise above these three modes and become purified, either by following karma yoga process or by following the varnashrama dharma. And then Krishna also explains about knowledge. How one's knowledge can be different in three modes. Knowledge in the mode of goodness, knowledge in the mode of passion, knowledge in the mode of ignorance. Krishna says, jnana in goodness is that by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living beings, though they exist in innumerable forms like demigod, human being, animal, bird, beast, aquatic, plant, and so on. Okay, knowledge in goodness is, that means you see divinity in everything. You see divinity in everything. Even though there are in different forms of species of life, animals, reptiles, plants, human beings, insects, and so on, or demigods, people who are in the Svargaloka. But you are seeing the same divinity in all living beings. That is knowledge in mode of goodness. And knowledge in the mode of passion is that by which one sees that there is a different type of living entity in different types of bodies. Different type of living entity in different types of bodies. Now, different opinions about the soul. The body is the soul. The soul is different from the body, but the same size as the body. The soul is just a momentary knowledge. The soul is God, consisting of eternal knowledge. The soul, different from the body, is a conscious, all-pervasive entity, giving shelter to different qualities and so on. So this is basically the Mayavad philosophy. Okay, Mayavad or impersonalists, they have a different meaning to the soul. Their knowledge about soul is at a different level. That is what Krishna is explaining here. And knowledge in ignorance. Knowledge in ignorance is that by which one is attached to one kind of work as all in all without knowing the truth, and which is very meager. So basically, a person who is in the mode of ignorance, their knowledge is there is no soul. It's only one life, one body. It's only body, one life. You live to the full extent. You live it to the full extent as if there is no life after death. There's no punya, papa. There's no punishment. So at the time of death, everything will be reconciled and everything will be forgiven. So you do whatever you want. That is their philosophy. Okay. So yeah, like that, different things, how they are different in the three modes of material nature. Krishna explains that in about 20 verses actually. Okay. And then Krishna explains about the Brahman realization. Okay. Okay. So Krishna talked about the purificatory processes. One can get purification either by following Karma Yoga or by following the Varnashrama dharmas. Okay. Now, when you follow these purificatory processes, you have some end goal in your mind, right? So we just talked about the goal setting and the result. Now, some spiritualists, they have a end goal as Brahman realization, moksha. Okay, moksha. So this chapter is titled as Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Okay, so Krishna talks about both moksha and sannyasa. Now, the impersonalists or Mayavadis, their end goal is moksha, liberation. Their end goal is liberation. At the time of death, so we want to go and merge in that Brahman and become one with God. And after that, there is no suffering, which is true. There is no suffering. When you achieve Brahman realization, when you achieve moksha, there is no suffering. But at the same time, that position is not permanent, because there is no ananda there. There is no bliss. There is knowledge, and there is Sat, Chit, Ananda. There is only knowledge there. There is no Sat and there is no Ananda. It's not permanent. It's not a blissful state. You have knowledge there, saying that you are not the body, but you are the soul. You have that knowledge, and you go become you become one with God. You merge in that Brahman effulgence, but there's no bliss, because there's no activity there. When you become one with God, you lose your identity and you cannot perform any activity there. So you stay there for some time, and then after a period of time, you get bored, and then you fall down again into the material world. So that moksha or Brahman realization is not the highest thing. It's not a permanent thing, and it's not the best thing. Then Krishna talks about sannyasa. Sannyasa is nothing but performing your activities with a detached mentality. In other words, Krishna says, abandon all varieties of work, abandon all varieties of religion, abandon all varieties of dharma, and then you just surrender to me. You just surrender to me with love and devotion. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayisyami masuchaha. Sarva dharman parityaja. Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja. Parityaja means abandon. Sarva dharman, all varieties of religion or all kinds of dharma. So if somebody talking about Manu dharma, Ardhashastra dharma, this dharma, that dharma, So abandon all varieties of religion. Abandon all varieties of dharma. And then just surrender to Krishna with love and devotion. And Krishna says, if you do that, then I will forgive all your sinful activities. Mokshaishyami ma shuchaha. I'll forgive all your sinful activities. So in general, in Hinduism or in India, among Indians, it's a misconception that in order to get liberation, they need to have their balance sheet tallied. Both sides, both good side and bad side, should be balanced. If you have 10 points on the good side, or if you have 10 points on the bad side, they should be nullified with 10 points on the good karma side. Only then you can get moksha. But no, that is not true. If you have 10 points on the bad karma side, you need to suffer the reactions from those 10 bad activities. And if you have 10 points on the good karma side, you need to take birth again to enjoy the benefits of those 10 good karma points. So good karma points do not nullify the bad karma points. They both are separate. They are in two different baggages. So you have to take birth to suffer from the results of your sinful activities or to enjoy benefits of your good karma. Okay, you have to take birth. Both are binding. Good karma, bad karma, both are binding. And what is beyond good karma and bad karma is the akarma. We discussed that in chapter 3, 4, and 5. Okay, there are 3 types of karma: karma, vikarma, and akarma. Karma, vikarma, and akarma. So karma is those activities that are performed as per the scriptural injunctions. Whatever is prescribed in the Vedas, if you perform, then they are karma, good activities. And opposite of that is vikarma. Any activity, if you perform, that is against the scriptural injunction, or any activity that is forbidden in the scriptures, is called vikarma, papakarma. Okay, forbidden activity, sinful activity. Now, the third type of karma is akarma. Akarma is that karma or that activity that has no reaction. Akarma is that activity that has no reaction. So in general, the law of karma is very simple, right? Every action has an equal amount of reaction. Every action has an equal amount of reaction. But Krishna is describing, and we are hearing in chapter 3, 4, and 5, that akarma is that activity that has no reaction, no binding. So what is akarma? Akarma is devotional service. Devotional service to Krishna with love and devotion is akarma, that has no reaction.
So the more akarma you accumulate, does that negate your karma, whether good or bad? Because akarma helps you achieve that stage where you're completely surrendered to Krishna, and then Krishna himself says,
Yeah,
that I'll take care of all your sins. You don't
Yeah.
have to worry about any
Yeah.
more. So is that how it is? Like the more karma, kind of like more karma points you accumulate, it negates both the good and the bad karma points.
Yeah, we can say that in one sense.
Okay.
The more number of points that you accumulate in akarma category, that is
like a superlative.
That will nullify both good karma and bad karma
Because
points.
even if it's good karma, you still have to come back.
You still come back.
And
Yeah.
So, but karma is you're not accumulating it. That is the whole point, right?
You're not. It's not like you're.
Spirituality.
Yeah, it's not nullifying anything. It is. I mean, you know the bad karma is there. Good karma it is there.
Yeah.
If you do akarma, you're not doing anything to the other two, and you're not getting any karma. That's what.
Yeah. You're actually not nullifying.
It's not nullifying.
Yeah, you're actually not nullifying, because that's what Krishna says, right? Even if you have 1,000 points on the bad karma. Now, if you do akarma, I will forgive all the 1,000 bad points.
That is negating.
Huh?
Is that not negating? Negating means to erase. Like
Yeah. Now, no. Kiran has a good point there. See, for example, accumulation means what? It happens with time. It happens gradually, right? But somebody can surrender to Krishna in 1 second.
Yeah.
You don't have to accumulate. You don't have to wait for prolonged amount of time.
Right.
Somebody can surrender in 1 second. And then Krishna, as he promised, if you have 1,000 bad karma points, he will forgive all those
You
things.
need like 1,000 akarma points to negate the bad karma.
Yeah.
All I'm saying that the akarma,
Yeah.
it negates the karma, whether good or bad.
Yeah.
I'm not saying just the bad.
Yeah.
Because even you have, let's say you have 5 bad karma points and
Yeah.
you have 1,000 good karma.
Yeah.
Now to reap the, so for the lack of better word, to reap the benefit of the good,
Yeah.
or to get punished for the bad, you still have to come down.
Yeah.
And the ultimate goal, end goal,
is to do akarma,
is to do
then
akarma and
surrender to Krishna.
And leave this place.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to come.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to say, that akarma, whether you have 1 or 1 lakh akarma,
Yeah.
that is not there. Any kind of akarma, it will negate your karma.
Yeah.
Because it is already, we are saying akarma, which means, like you said, that when we add a,
Yeah.
it is the kind of like the opposite of that word.
Yeah.
And akarma over here, is dedicated to Krishna.
Yeah. So we discussed in chapter 15 also, right?
Yeah.
Asanga shastrena drudena
Exactly.
chitva.
Exactly.
The letter A,
Yeah.
it has 2 meanings. One is when you add a letter A to any word in Sanskrit, it is like negation.
Negation.
Negation. Satya, asatya.
Yeah.
Vijaya, ajaya. Jaya, vijaya, ajaya.
Ahimsa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, if you add A, it's a negation, or it also indicates Krishna.
Krishna.
A means Krishna. So now akarma means any activity that can take you closer to Krishna. That can take you closer to Krishna. So
there should be a chart. We can see, oh, I have a karma, or do I don't have a karma. Then the tension is gone. Then you can do bhakti tension free.
That's what Krishna says, right? Don't be attached to the results. You'll keep an end goal, but don't be attached to the results. So, okay.
Yeah, let's assume that as of today we have bad karma with karma. Still, let's say from today, we do bad karma.
You haven't. We have a karma.
Just assume that we have a long way to go.
I'm a struggling actor.
Just assume that we have a long way to go.
I'm a struggling actor.
So we have a long way to go.
Don't worry.
I'm a struggling actor in Bhojpuri industry.
Okay. So now, so after discussing all this, okay, now Krishna says, okay, Arjuna, I have given you all this knowledge. Now you do whatever you want. Edechasi tadakuru. Okay. And then Krishna also glorifies this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. What is the benefit if one hears Bhagavad Gita? What is the benefit if one teaches this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to others? What is the benefit if one simply if simply hears Bhagavad Gita chanting? There are 3 things, right? Studying Bhagavad Gita, hearing Bhagavad Gita, and teaching Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So new people, when they sit in Gita recitation and on Gita Jayanti day, they are simply just hearing. And there is a benefit by doing that, Phala Shruti. And studying Bhagavad Gita, that means like what we are all doing. We are scrutinizingly studying Bhagavad Gita. We're trying to understand each and every verse, with the Prabhupada's commentary. We are trying to understand each and every verse with a deep dive into it. So this is study. And then teaching Bhagavad Gita, like Harivilas Maharaj or Prabhupada, what they have done. They thought, I'm also studying. Along with all of you, I'm studying. So that is teaching Bhagavad Gita or preaching Bhagavad Gita. So there are 3 different levels or 3 different things. Same Bhagavad Gita, but 3 different things. And there are different degrees of benefit that you achieve when you do these 3 things. And Krishna says, among all my devotees, one who teaches this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to others is the most dearest one. Is the most dearest one. You're also preaching.
Now you know who is the dearest.
You're also preaching. So he is the most dearest one. And then Arjuna says, Nashto moha smritir labda shitosmi gata sandeha tat prasad maya chuta karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna says, Krishna, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is your prasad. This is your mercy to me. And I have, and all of my illusion has disappeared. All my doubts from several years have been clarified. Now I am situated in my position. Now I know that I am not this body, but I am a soul. I am ready to do whatever you want. If you want me to fight, I will fight. If you want me not to fight, I will do so. Karishe vachanam tava. So says, I am ready to do whatever you want. So he's a completely surrendered. Arjuna is a completely surrendered soul now, and he's ready to do whatever Krishna says. And to protect. Yeah, go ahead.
So can, even after doing all the karma that we do, and when we go to Gokul Dham, Bhagwan can even say that, hey, I want you back on earth. I want you back.
Yeah.
You have to do, that is my I want you to do this. My wish that you do it. Then you would come because that is what you want. You want to do that for Bhagwan. And the second thought I had was, can the ultimate tyag be also all the akarma that you do, and then finally you just surrender even that result to God, that I don't want anything out of it.
Yeah.
You determine what needs to happen, because you can give the benefits to others. And that's probably the ultimate tyag. In my mind, that is what happens. Even the results that you reap out of good activities or even devotional activities, you don't want the results for that. You can always say that I don't want the result. If you instruct that I want to come back, then I would do that. But you guide what needs to happen to my life.
Yeah.
Is that the ultimate tyag?
Yeah, that is the ultimate tyag. And actually in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned the highest type of prayer is okay. So our initial understanding, when somebody is taking up Krishna consciousness or any spiritual sadhana, their initial motive is to get liberation, right? That means you still have your selfish desire. You want to get rid of this miserable cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. So that is a selfish desire. But one level higher than that is love for Krishna. You develop love for Krishna. But there also you have a tinge of selfish motive, that okay, if I develop love for Krishna, I can go back to Krishna and then I can enjoy with him. I can play with him. I can, I can be in that Golok Vrindavana or Vaikuntha Dham, Ayodhya Dham. I can be in a beautiful place. This place is full of miseries. Material world is full of miseries. Let me go to the spiritual planet where I can enjoy with Krishna. And you also develop love for Krishna. Okay. But one level higher than that is, okay, Krishna, I love you, but in the end, if you want, you can accept me or reject me. You can even beat me. That is what Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches. If you decide, you can even beat me. Even after complete surrender to you, if you want, you can beat me. You can reject me. You can do whatever you want. Because whatever you do is perfect and you have a right to do anything and anything that you want. That is the highest level of understanding Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches. So as you mentioned, even Tyaga, so the very meaning of Tyaga is rejecting the results of your activity. Now, whether you are rejecting them for the benefit of others or you are offering them to Krishna, that doesn't matter. The very meaning of tyaga itself is you don't want any results for yourself. Now Krishna knows.
Even if you're offering to Krishna, then Krishna might decide to redistribute it to everybody. So you can't even claim anything out of a karma for yourself. You don't want to do that because that's something that you're offering to Krishna. Like the ultimate tapasya, that tyag, sorry. The ultimate tyag is to just keep doing what you need to do, the right thing to do.
Yeah. No, even if you offer to Krishna and your intention is that Krishna wants that benefit to be distributed to others, Krishna knows, right, how sincere you are, and so he gives the benefit to you also. Even though you have an intention that you don't want anything for yourself, but you want all the benefit to go to others. Like it happens in a parent-child relation, right? As a parent, when we see our child is struggling so much, we pray to God, saying that, oh God, whatever sinful activities my child has done, just give all those reactions to me and let my child be happy. Parents, you all have experience, right? So you must, you should be able to acknowledge to this. So similarly, a saintly person, because he is compassionate about other living entities, he can pray to Krishna saying that, Krishna, whatever benefit that I'm eligible to get out of this activity, this spiritual activity, don't give that benefit to me. Please distribute it to other living entities. Now, when you pray to Krishna with that sincere mind, Krishna knows your heart, so he gives the benefit to you and to others also. Yeah. So now, so after this, there are certain important things that happen towards the end of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna gives 2 charama shlokas, 2 ultimate instructions. One is that sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, and then there is another shloka, manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishvasi satyam te pratijani priyosime. Krishna tells, manmana bhava madbhakto, always fix your mind upon me. Manmana bhava madbhakto, become my devotee. Always fix your mind upon me. Madbhakta, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam namaskuru, offer obeisances to me. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishvasi satyam te pratijani priyosime. And if you do that, then you are the most dearest one to me. You are the most dearest one to me. So Krishna is telling, you fix your mind upon me, become my devotee, worship me, offer obeisances to me. 4 things. Okay. So if you do this all the time, fix your mind means fix your mind upon me all the time, 24 hours. Fix your mind upon Krishna 24 hours. And worship me, offer obeisances to me, and become his devotee. Now, somebody can fix their mind upon Krishna in a negative manner also. Like Shishupala, right? He was completely fixed his mind upon Krishna in a negative way. All the time he was thinking of Krishna. Manmana bhava. But not mad bhakta. He was not doing that in a favorable way. He was not doing that as a devotee of Krishna. Shishupal was always criticizing Krishna in a negative way. That's why Krishna gives the complete, instruction. Manmana bhava mad bhakta. Become my devotee. First he says, fix your mind upon me, but not like Shishupal, like a devotee. and it is easy to become like Shishupal. Okay, it is easy to fix your mind upon Krishna like Shishupal.
Blame him.
Yeah, like always be envious of Krishna. Oh, why Krishna is only enjoying?
Yeah.
Why not me? Like that, you can criticize Krishna 24 hours a day. It's very easy actually.
Prabhuji, who was Shishupal? I did not know the story.
So Shishupal and Dantavakra. So Jaya Vijaya, right? You know that pastime where Jaya Vijaya are the two Dwarapalakas, the two soldiers who stand at the gate of Vaikunta. Okay, so whoever has to enter Vaikunta, the abode of Narayana or Vishnu, they have to take permission of these two Dwarapalakas, Jaya and Vijaya. Now, one day, some Muni comes to see Vishnu, and then Jaya Vijaya they decline. The four Kumaras, correct? Yeah, the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras, Sanat, Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana. The four Kumaras come to see Vishnu, but Jaya Vijaya they decline. And then the four Kumaras punish, they curse Jaya Vijaya. And then Jaya Vijaya asked for forgiveness and then asked for solution. Then the four Kumaras give two kinds of solution. One is you can either take four birds as a demigod, and 3 birds as demons. And then you can come back to Vishnu and be like Jaya Vijaya again. Now they choose to be demons and finish their curse in 3 lifetimes rather than waiting for 4 lifetimes and becoming a demigod, so that they can come faster and see their Lord Vishnu. So they choose 3 lifetimes over 3 lifetimes being a demon over 4 lifetimes being a demigod. And those 3 lifetimes, the first lifetime is Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and then that is in Satya Yuga, and then in Treta Yuga, Ravanasura and Kumbhakarna, and then in Dwapara Yuga, Shishupala and Dantavakra. The same demon, the same Jaya Vijaya, taking these 3 forms in 3 different yugas as 3 different demons. Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha in Satya Yuga, and then Treta Yuga, Ravanasura and Kumbhakarna, and then Dwapara Yuga, Shishupala and Dantavakra.
Was there a replacement in Goloka?
Replace in? Oh, in Goloka? Yeah, I'm sure. There are positions, right?
Yeah.
So somebody takes that position as Dwarapalaka.
Sabbatical,
yeah, somebody takes that position as Dwarapalaka.
Prabhuji, the number of lifetimes is demon 3 and the divine 7 lives.
Demon 3, divine 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought 5, but yeah, could be 7 as well.
3 and 7.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 and 7. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. Also, even though they were demons, they had some better qualities than the people of Kali Yuga, I guess. Being demons, they were better than us humans in Kali Yuga sometimes.
Like in what sense?
Even though Ravana, though he's like a demon, he was a great bhakt of Shiva, and he also had some good qualities. He was asura. Asura is what we call a demons in Sanskrit or Hindi, right? So like he also I mean he respected Sita, like I mean he could have like dragged her or touched her or something like that, but he kind of gave her like time and enough to like come by herself or something. And I mean considering for that yug they might be demons, like they had bad qualities, but like comparing to this time in Kali Yuga, like people are ending up in fridges with 35 pieces as 35 pieces. So that's, I think, a lot better than yeah, the demons of, yeah. I mean, of course, they were like again incarnations of Dwarapalkas of Vishnu, of course. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we cannot say that they are better in you know in some way than people in Kali Yuga, because they are demons. They are demons, and they led the life as demons. Even though Ravanasura, he was a great Shiva Bhakta, and then he was very knowledgeable in Vedas. Very knowledgeable in Vedas. But what happened to all his knowledge? He has all the celestial beings in his Lanka, to enjoy. But despite having all the wealth and all the comforts, so many celestial, ladies for his enjoyment, still he was not satisfied. He was still wanting Sita Devi. So
I mean, they are in no way like inspiration for anyone. Like, I mean, not to take that as inspiration. I'm just comparing them with like, of course, that's not true. That's not the right way to compare as well, because in that yuga, people were much more better than like the demons. For that yuga, they were bad. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if we see the atrocities that happen now, like I don't know how many demons are there now, how many Vijayas are there now compared to like in that time.
Okay, so now coming to the end of Bhagavad Gita, so I want to show you some shlokas, and we all can recite those shlokas together. Okay, so towards the end of the chapter, chapter 18, Sanjaya glorifies Bhagavad Gita. Okay, see, Sanjaya, he's not present in the battlefield of. Okay, let me share the screen first.
Not this one.
Okay, stop share. Share screen. The desktop, right?
No. No. Go back. Yeah. There you go. Can they see me?
Can you all see my screen now?
Yes,
Arjuna Uvacha? Okay. So after hearing all the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Nashto moha smritir labda tat prasadan mayachyuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tam. So Arjuna said, so somebody, Swati, you want to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and I am prepared to act according to your instructions.
Okay, so this we already discussed. And then starting from verse 74 onwards, okay, Sanjaya glorifies Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so this is very important for us to understand. See, Sanjaya, he was not even in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He was not physically present there. And technically, he is not part of the Pandava Sena. Okay, in one sense, he is part of Kaurava Sena because he is with Dhritarashtra. Okay, now Dhritarashtra, because he is blind, sitting in Hastinapura, he was asking Sanjaya to explain what is happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Now Sanjaya, he got a blessing or boon from Vyasadeva, so that he can see things that are happening in a remote place. From wherever he is, he can see things happening in a remote place. Zoom call. So Sanjaya was the first pioneer of Zoom. So he was, he was not even present in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He has not even seen Krishna. But the way he is glorifying Bhagavad Gita, the sacred conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, this is a great inspiring for anyone who wants to recite Bhagavad Gita, who wants to hear Bhagavad Gita, who wants to study or preach or teach Bhagavad Gita. Okay, in 5 verses, last 5 verses, 74, 5, 6, 7, and 78, last 5 verses of 18th chapter, Sanjaya glorifies Bhagavad Gita, and these are extremely beautiful shlokas. So these shlokas should be read and should be recited, and the translation should be read before anyone starts reciting Bhagavad Gita recitation, the entire 18 chapters, because this gives the Falashruti. What happens? What will I get after I sit? If I sit 3 hours in the Gita recitation, and what is the benefit that I'm going to get out of it? Okay, the Falashruti. Sanjaya explains here. Okay, we all can recite together.
Did we begin with these when we were doing?
Yes, we did that. Yeah, I explained this. Yeah. So we all can recite together actually. Sanjaya uvacha ityaham vasudevasya partasya cha mahatmanaha vadam imam ashrausham adbhutam roma harshanam. Okay, now let's see what does it mean. Okay, Rahul, you want to read the translation?
Yeah. Sanjaya said, "Thus I have heard the conversation of 2 great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end."
Yeah, Krishna is saying, Sanjaya is saying, Adbhutam Roma Harshanam. He's saying his hair is standing on end. After listening to this conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, it is so wonderful that he's getting goosebumps. So this is what the thrilling experience I mentioned in the beginning, right? This is like out of the world experience, the thrilling, exciting experience. And it really happens when somebody is, reciting entire Bhagavad Gita or listening to the recitation. If one is paying all attention and listening to that, it can happen. You can experience what Sanjaya is experiencing. Like Adbhutam Roma Harshanam. You'll feel it as a wonderful experience. Like how you all experienced, explained in the beginning, right? When I asked what was your experience during the Gita recitation, you all experienced some wonderful things. Just like how Sanjaya experienced goosebumps, it can happen to everyone. Because these are not ordinary words. It's first of all, Sanskrit words, they have great sound vibration. Yes. Any word, any shloka you say in Sanskrit, it has a great sound vibration. And now what to speak of the words coming from Krishna himself, the divine words coming from Krishna's lotus mouth. So it is so wonderful. Let's see what the next shloka is. 75. Vyasa prasajat shrutavan
Prasada Shrutavan
etat guhyam aham param
Guhyam Aham Param
yogam yogeshwarat krishnat
Yogeshwarat Krishnat
sakshat katayata swayam.
Sakshat Katayata Swayam.
Okay, Madhuri, you want to read the translation?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. By the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard these most confidential talks directly from Master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna.
Yeah. So Vasudev gave a boon to Sanjaya so that he can see and hear the conversations that are happening in a remote place. Okay. Verse 76. Rajan samsmrutya
Rajan Samsmrutya Samsmrutya
samvadam imamadbhutam
Sampadam Imam Adbhutam
eshavarjunayo punyam
Keshavarjunayo
Yam
pashyami cha muhurmuhu.
Prashyamisha Muhurmuhu.
Okay, now Naresh, you want to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. O King, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment.
Every moment. Okay. So every word of this shloka, this translation, every word of it, very important. And we can apply this to us when it comes to listening to Bhagavad Gita recitation. What happens is over a period of time, okay, initially there'll be excitement for anything, right? You take up any new activity, initially there will be a lot of excitement, enthusiasm, you feel like, oh, I'm learning great thing, and this is like my lifetime achievement. I have never heard this before. I have never done this before. And you have great satisfaction in doing that activity for the first time in the initial stage. But over a period of time, what happens is after 5 years, 10 years, it feels like mechanical, monotonous. You think that, oh, the same Bhagavad Gita, I have heard it many times. Okay, I have heard it many times. I know this. Oh, this shloka, I know it already. I don't need to listen it again. So it is natural. It's a natural tendency to come to that stage, and it's a dangerous state actually. I'm not saying when I say it's a natural tendency to come to that state, it's not a good thing. It's a dangerous state to be. So we should cherish and we should cherish and relish Bhagavad Gita, like as if every time you read Bhagavad Gita, every time you listen to Bhagavad Gita, we should cherish and relish it as if you are hearing for the first time. Like what Sanjay is saying. As I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. So when you are sitting and listening to 700 shlokas, every shloka, you must listen to it as if it's a personal instruction to you, and as if it's the most wonderful shloka in the entire Bhagavad Gita. For example, randomly you take some shloka in 17th chapter, 17.23. It may not be very popular or famous verse, but when you are hearing that, you should hear with a mood that this is the most important shloka in Bhagavad Gita among all 700 shlokas. That's what Sanjay is saying. Being thrilled at every moment. Okay. Now, if you develop that kind of interest and love for Bhagavad Gita, then you will actually enjoy reading or hearing Bhagavad Gita. Now, even within ISKCON, even the senior devotees, over a period of time, they neglect Bhagavad Gita. In fact, this is the most neglected book of all. You have Srimad Bhagavatam,
different scriptures, yes.
Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there are so many other books written by so many Prabhujis and Maharajas. So much of literature is there. But over a period of time, this is the most neglected book. This is unfortunately, this is the most neglected book. And ISKCON's poor Bhagavad Gita. Poor Krishna.
Poor Krishna.
Poor Krishna and poor Arjuna.
Little Krishna.
Yeah. So,
Such an innocent boy is neglected.
whereas Harilas Maharaj, what he says is, you just need this one book. You don't need anything else. I mean, it's good to read Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, other books. But he says, practically, you just need this one book. 700 slokas, you just need this one book. Now, Harilas Maharaj, if you ask him, you give any context and ask him to tell the sloka. He can tell the sloka instantly within few seconds. Not only the sloka, but the purport. For example, each sloka has long purport in the book, right? Now, Harilas Maharaj remembers what Prabhupada has said in that purport. Yeah. See, now remembering 700 slokas is possible to some by some great effort. It is possible. Now, one level higher than that is remembering the translations or the meaning at a high level, what this sloka means. That is also possible with some greater effort. But remembering what Prabhupada or Acharyas have said in the purports, that is humanly impossible. And only persons like people like, great sincere pure devotees like Harilas Maharaj, who has great love for Bhagavad Gita, only they can do it. And look at Sanjaya. He's saying, I'm being thrilled at every moment as I recall this wondrous conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. Yeah. So now this is one habit that we should cultivate. Whether you read Srimad Bhagavatam or not, or whether you read other Prabhuji's books or not, whether you hear other lectures or not, one thing that you should not leave is Bhagavad Gita. If possible, you read one chapter every day or one shloka every day. If one chapter is not possible, one chapter takes only 10-15 minutes. Okay? Even if that is not possible, one shloka a day. You just open Bhagavad Gita randomly, and whatever shloka that you see, you just read that and read the translation.
How important it is for the devotees.
Yeah.
How important it is to read the purport. I mean, as in, we have read the shlok in Sanskrit.
Yeah.
And then some can understand. Most of us cannot understand.
Yeah.
Then we read the translation.
Yeah.
Now the translation can be meaningful for some shlok especially.
Yeah.
Like some shlok may sound simple, and then you read the translation, you understand what is happening.
Yeah.
And then there are certain shlok where even if you read the translation, you still want to understand the deeper meaning of it.
Yeah.
So how important is it to read the purport? Like, for example, if you read the first shlok,
yeah,
Dhritarashtra, he's asking asking the Sanjay, like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And Sanjay explains that where everyone is situated.
Yeah.
And then you read the translation, it makes sense to you.
Yeah.
So how important it is to read each and every purport or not?
Yeah, it is very important. For example, chapter 4, there is a shloka. Karmanya karma ya pravrite. The translation is action in inaction, inaction in action.
That is not.
Now, what do we understand?
Yeah.
It's like a tongue twister. The children will enjoy that.
Yeah.
Action in inaction, inaction in action. When Krishna is explaining karma, akarma, vikarma, those 3 types of karmas, the translation for one of the shlokas is action in inaction, inaction in action. Now, what do we understand out of that? You don't understand anything.
Exactly.
Unless you go into purport and understand what Prabhupada is saying.
But that's not like there are certain shlokas where you can understand the translation, like the first shlok.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you read in Sanskrit, maybe it will not make sense.
Yeah, for example, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto. When Krishna says, always fix your mind upon me, become my devotee, worship me, pay obeisance to me. It's very plain, straightforward.
Now, how important it is to read the purport of that shloka as well, even though you're understanding what is being said.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. I mean, it's plain English.
Yeah.
And over here, I'm pretty sure we are qualified to understand it.
Yeah.
But even in that case, like you've understood the translation.
Yeah.
Even in that case, how important it is to read the purport, or what should be the purpose to read the purport, or driving force to read that? Even though I understand the translation, but I still should read the purport. Like why?
Yeah.
Kind of like a why.
Yeah. So why we should, even though we understand the English translation, why should we go and read the purports? That is to get more conviction on what Krishna is saying. Prabhupada explains that with some analogies and examples, and he puts his own practical realizations so that we get deeper understanding of the translation, and also stronger faith. We develop stronger faith and conviction in what Krishna is saying. For example, in one of the shlokas, where Krishna is explaining how his devotees should fix mind upon Krishna all the time, 24 hours a day. Prabhupada explains that in the purport with an example. Now, when you hear that example, it's like a mind-boggling example. It blows your mind off like anything, and you will get conviction that, oh, it is possible. It is possible to fix our mind upon Krishna after hearing that example. So that example is, Prabhupada says, just like a married woman, okay? So woman is married, living with her husband, okay? But imagine that woman, she also has a boyfriend outside the marriage. Now, she is being in the marriage, okay, with her husband, and she is thinking of the boyfriend. She has to do that in such a way that the husband is not aware of this. The husband is not aware of this fact that she has a boyfriend outside the marriage. So how meticulous, how careful, how attentive she will be while doing this. So Prabhupada gives that example. So now she is able to think of the boyfriend all the time, even though she is engaged in other activities. In other words, even though we are engaged in material occupations, different occupational duties, okay, but it is possible to think of Krishna just like how that woman is thinking of the boyfriend, and she's enjoying that actually. The mere thought of the boyfriend is bringing her so much of pleasure. Similarly, we can fix our mind on Krishna 24 hours a day, even though while we are occupied in our occupational duties. Now that gives some hope for us. That gives a hope for us.
Because
it is possible.
Huh? Because it's a very materialistic.
It's a materialistic example, and it's very practical.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are people in this world who do that.
There are cases.
There are cases.
I'm sure many of us have heard about those cases in our friend circle as well.
Yeah.
It's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise. Yeah. So, and also when we hear stories, more than philosophy, we get connected to stories better. And the story stays with us for a long time. More than the philosophy. The translation, when you read, okay, you understand it, but you may not remember it.
Correct.
But when you remember the story that Prabhupada explains in the purport, then the story will stay with you for a long time.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's why it's very important to listen to read the purports. Okay, now the last two verses actually. Prabhupada uses a word, paramour, for the boyfriend outside the marriage. Prabhupada uses a word, paramour. Prabhupada's English is also very rich.
Yeah.
Is very rich, sophisticated English.
Yeah, you have to pick up sometimes.
Yeah. Paramour, I mean, how many times we heard of the word paramour?
I think this word paramour
is
probably is an English word, but if I'm correct, It is probably taken from French, and then French obviously was from Latin.
Yeah.
Because if it like break the words para and amor, and amor is a French word for love.
Okay.
And para is always a extension, like so paranormal.
Okay.
Paranormal, which is out of the world or something.
Okay, supernatural.
Like,
Okay.
So paramore is like outside of the love, outside of somewhere.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So para is like that.
Abnormal love. Abnormal love.
Like parabolic.
Parabolic. Yeah. Parabola equation, right?
Yeah.
Parabola equation. Yeah.
Which is because it's going out. Parabola is it's making a path, it's going out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, '77. Sanjay Uvacha Tacha Samsmrutya
Tacha samsritya
Rupam Atyadbhutam Harehe
Rupam Atyadbhutam Hare
Mayo me Mahan Rajan
This is my own.
Me Maharajan
Shyami cha Punah Punaha.
Rasya Punapuna.
Okay. Aparna, are you still there? Aparna, you there? Okay.
I think she left. Yeah.
Okay. Ashok, you there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Want to read the
I'll
passage?
read it. Yes. O King, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with the wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again.
Yeah. O King. O King means Dhritarashtra. He's telling to Dhritarashtra. As I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again. So Sanjaya is relishing two things here. One is he is relishing the conversation, sacred conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, and he's also relishing the form of Krishna that he showed during the Vishwarupa Sandarshana, the universal form, and then Chaturbhuja form, and then finally the two-handed form, Shyamasundara form. So Rupam Atyadbhutam Harehe. In this shloka, Rupam Atyadbhutam Harehe. And in the previous verses, Sanjaya said, Adbhutam Roma Harshanam. That means hearing the sacred conversation is giving him goosebumps. And here, Rupam Atyadbhutam Harehe. Seeing the wonderful form of Krishna, he's stuck with wonder more and more. And he's rejoicing again and again. So, I mean, most of the people, see, you go to YouTube and search for lectures on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita ISKCON, lectures on Bhagavad Gita. Nobody talks about these shlokas. But these are so important that they give inspiration to us. See, Sanjaya, who is not even like a direct great devotee of Krishna, who is in a remote place, who has not even seen Krishna physically here, he is enjoying this conversation so much. Now we are all practicing to become Krishna's devotees. So how much should we enjoy this conversation? How much should we read Bhagavad Gita? How much should we enjoy this conversation more and more? So that is the point I'm trying to drive here. So if at all we take any inspiration from Sanjaya and then read even one shloka a day, Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, he said, Bhagavad Gita, Kinchit Gita, Ganga Jala, some shloka. He says, even a small portion of Bhagavad Gita, it can purify one's mind. Even one word, one shloka, one word, Bhagavad Gita, Kinchit Gita. Kinchit Gita means even a small amount of reading, even one shloka, one word of reading, it can give you benefit. So daily, developing this habit of daily reading Bhagavad Gita, even one shloka, it only takes 1 minute. So at the same shloka, you repeat it every day for 1 month. Next 1 month, You take one shloka and you repeat it. So different varieties of practicing reading Bhagavad Gita has different benefits.
So next time we'll start reading shloka one by one.
Yes. Yeah. After this, from next class, we are starting second chapter. We finished chapter 1.
Okay.
You were not there at in that time. Yeah. So we took a deep dive of each and every verse in chapter 1 and discussed along with purports.
Okay.
Now we're going to do that from chapter 2.
Next week.
Yeah, next class.
I have something to catch up on.
Yeah. Yeah. So now the last verse. Okay. So these 5 shlokas are, very, very, very glorifying. So, and not only here, right? Sanjaya not only glorifying here in 18th chapter. Now he has been hearing Krishna and Arjuna for last 1.5 hours, right? It is said that on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, it took 1.5 hours for this conversation to happen. Yeah. Yeah, you hear different numbers actually. Some people say 40, some people say 2 hours, 2.5. But the most 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours is most reliable from the most reliable sources. Okay.
In that 1.5 hours, everything was done.
Yeah. Yeah. 1.5 hours, everything is done. Yeah. Now, when we recite Bhagavad Gita, if we don't give any explanation in between, we can recite this in 2 hours.
Yeah, but I think Arjuna is like IQ infinity, no?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was done quickly.
Yeah. Okay, so
could it be possible that Krishna like had a parallel time and space, like pause the time and space of the Mahabharata?
no, he did not. So that's what I also thought actually. Maybe that is another discussion, right? So who and all heard Bhagavad Gita? When Krishna spoke to Arjuna, did everyone on the battlefield hear it? All the Kauravas, Pandavas, everyone heard? Or Krishna paused the time and only gave this confidential knowledge only to Arjuna? So, and how much time did it take? We can discuss that in the next class. Okay. Let's finish this. Yeah, let's finish this last shloka. And this is the most, my one of my most favorite shlokas. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna.
Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha.
Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha.
Yatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir.
Bhutir.
Dhruva Matir Mama. It 3 times actually. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna.
Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha.
Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha.
Yatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir.
Yatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir.
Dhruva Matir Mama. Now this time we'll all recite together. Okay. Yatra
Yogeshwara Krishna.
Yatra
Partho Dhanurdharaha. Yatra Vijayor Bhutir. Matir Mama.
Okay. Now, yeah, Swarit, you want to read the translation?
Sure. It says, wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjun, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion.
Yeah. So, I mean, hearing this itself should give you goosebumps. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. So Sanjay is saying, wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, there is victory, opulence, extraordinary power, and morality. So in one sense, he is declaring victory for Pandavas. Sanjaya is declaring Sanjaya is declaring victory for Pandavas. Now he is declaring victory even before the war has begun. The war has not begun yet. So this Bhagavad Gita, it happened before the war.
Yeah.
Okay. The war is about to begin. It has not started yet. It is about to begin, but not started yet. And you don't know who is going to win or who is going to lose, right? But Sanjaya is declaring the victory for Pandavas already. Why? Because there is Krishna. There is Krishna.
And he is declaring in front of the king.
Yatra partho dhanurdaraha. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Krishna is Yogeshwara.
Yeah.
And Arjuna partho is dhanurdara. Tatra Shri. Shri means victory. Vijaya, victory. No. Shri is opulence. Shri is opulence. Shri is opulence. Vijaya is victory. Bhuti is
morality.
Bhuti is what? Exceptional power. Like Krishna Vibhuti Yoga, right? Chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga. Exceptional power, extraordinary power. Dhruva Nitir. Niti is morality. Niti is morality.
Dhruva Nitir. Certain.
Yeah.
Certainty.
Opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Shri, Vijaya, Bhuti, and Niti. Yeah. So that means wherever Bhagavad Gita is spoken, there is Krishna and Arjuna. And wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, there are these four things. So in India, there's a misconception, right? You should not keep Bhagavad Gita at home.
No, Mahabharata.
No, they say Bhagavad Gita also, because Bhagavad Gita is from Mahabharata.
Oh, I heard about Mahabharata. They said that don't keep Mahabharata in home because it's about story of a war and all that.
Yeah.
And then also about the painting, the famous painting where
charity.
Yes.
The charity.
Yeah.
It is a very famous misconception.
Yeah. So this is a book of fighting, war, but this is a book of love.
Yeah.
This is a book of love. This is a book of victory, book of morality, book of opulence, extraordinary power. So wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, wherever there is Bhagavad Gita, there is Krishna and Arjuna.
Yeah.
Just like, wherever Ramayana is spoken, Hanuman comes and sits there.
Yeah.
So just like that, wherever Bhagavad Gita is spoken, there is Krishna and Arjuna. That means there is victory, morality, opulence, and extraordinary power. So this.
I think this was again. Sorry, Prabhuji. There is again. The reason why I think this rumor was spread is like after invasions is what I'm thinking, Prabhuji, because like they realized that Bhagavad Gita is like a very they realized that Indians have like very great knowledgeable books, and they even burned Nalanda University and everything, right? So there were like many knowledgeable books. There were many books written after many researches and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if if we let people, even if we try to suppress them, if we let people read these books, they'd still be able to like not be oppressed, or they'll not be easily controlled.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is so if like they generally say ban these books, they still read it somehow. The books that get banned are read more than like the books that are existing. So what they did is that they spread these rumors, like the sentiment. People are generally believe in more sentiment. That's why in marketing also people always say use sentimental story to sell their product. So that's how the marketing works as well, right? So they spread these sentiments in order to not follow them, not in order for them to like believe in them and not read these books, so that they can easily be controlled. In fact, many even Germans, like when they were invading, they were like wreaking havoc. They in fact the person who actually invented atomic bomb, it's under that person, or like under that person's memorial or something, there's a shloka written of Bhagavad Gita. Like many other invaders,
Oppenheimer.
yeah, many other invaders who
Cited
came here.
shloka from chapter 11.
Now it becomes
Yeah.
About some anu, something like that. So yeah,
Open.
they got ideas from Bhagavad Gita to invent stuff, but they wanted Indians not to read them. But lucky for us, some of them were like inculcated in our like daily life and everything, and it passed on through generations. But yeah, most of the people still believe these rumors and try not to read them. Yeah.
No, what I can think of is the reason why these rumors, got spread in the society, especially in Hindu society, is maybe worshippers of Shiva. So they try to use some strategy, against Vaishnavas, and then they wanted to put the worship of Krishna under the covers. They try to discourage this type of worship, because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says towards the end in 18th chapter, whoever is reading Bhagavad Gita, whoever is studying Bhagavad Gita, they are actually worshipping me with their intelligence. Now, when you have to worship Krishna, there are different ways of worship, right? You need flowers, different paraphernalia, incense sticks, water, cloth, shank, different or the ghee wicks. You need different paraphernalia, different ingredients to worship Krishna. Okay. Similarly, if somebody is studying or reading Bhagavad Gita, they are also worshipping Krishna with their intelligence. There is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter. So maybe, Shaivites, they wanted to discourage against the worship of Krishna or Vaishnavas or Vishnu. I mean, whatever the motive could be, how the rumor got spread. But unfortunately, people are still believing even till today. Even the Vaishnavites are also believing that. Even the people, who are worshipping Krishna and Vishnu, they are also believing. They think, reading Bhagavad Gita or hearing Bhagavad Gita outside the home is okay. They can go to a temple and hear that, but not at home. They don't want to keep Bhagavad Gita at home. Majority of the people, they say that. But here is Sanjaya declaring, wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, there is victory. Yeah. So,
what translates to Arjuna as a great archer in real world, in today's world? I know it refers to all of us, but how do we become great archers? Is it we are skilled enough in our own fields?
So Arjuna,
we do our best in our own fields. Is that considered great archer?
Arjuna was fighting an external war, and we are all fighting internal wars. Every day in our life, in every walk of our life, Arjuna, just like how Arjuna was fighting external war, we are fighting internal war in every walk of our life. So just like how Arjuna became a great archer, Yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha, how he became a great archer, he, in the beginning, his state was to give up his bow Gandiva and not fight. But in the end, he said, okay, now I'm ready to take up this bow and arrow and fight. So we should all be like that. We should not give up. We should not escape from the situations in our life. We're all fighting our internal war. And just like Arjuna, we should take a bow and arrow and fight. And what is that bow and arrow for us? Is the knowledge given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. That is our bow and arrow. So when we take up that bow and arrow, we can become the great archer like Arjuna and deal with the situations.
Is it also something?
So does that clarify, Swati?
Yes, Prabhuji, that is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it also something like Mataji said that, we are all Arjunas,
Yeah.
but how we become great actors?
Yeah.
Can we also take an example that whatever Arjun did, minus the fact when he got bewildered, minus that part of his life. But other than that, whatever he did with complete focus. Right?
Yeah.
Whenever he was using the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
His focus was on nothing else but other than the target itself.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever is beyond the target, even if it's there 1 millimeter on the top or bottom or left or right, he couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So, like Arjuna was fighting demons in that particular yoga, in that particular war, Duryodhan and all his 99 brothers, they were demons. And like Prabhuji said, that we are fighting an internal war, so we are fighting our own inner demons. Yeah. Which is the
lust, anger, greed,
the sense gratification, driving force behind the sense gratification.
Yeah.
So I think the focus part is what can make us the supreme archer in today's time.
Yeah.
And what can help, like Krishna was there to help the Arjuna to become a supreme. Well, he was a supreme archer, but he helped Arjuna to realize that you are a Kshatriya, your dharma.
Yeah.
In a similar fashion, we have the Bhagavad Gita available. Krishna's form is Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
Which is available.
Shabda Brahma. Bhagavad Gita is called Shabda Brahma.
To those that supreme archer.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, there's a story also in Mahabharata after Krishna dies, right? Like he was hit by like a hunter in his like leg, and he dies. After that, actually just before dying, like all his sons. I mean, he was also being he was also cursed by Gandhari that all your sons would die just like I mean how my sons have died. All your progeny will die. So after they were all killed, like there comes I mean there are certain like tribal people or some bandits come and try to capture all the women that are there in Dwarka. So Krishna instructs Arjuna that please protect the woman. Of course, I'll not be there, and none of my sons will be there. So try and protect them. Is what he instructs Arjuna. But Arjuna, the great archer, after Krishna dies, he fails and he's lost to those bandits. I mean, like they capture the woman and take the woman away. Like he even such great archer, like he fails to like fight with those like bandits. He had fought such great war with such great archers on the opposite sides. Like in fact, his guru and Bhishmacharya, who was also a very great warrior. So fighting with all those warriors, he won, but he fails with mere bandits. So that is when they realize, like even the Pandavas and Arjuna realizes that if Krishna is not there, there is no power. So that is when they start for their Antim Yatra. Like, yeah, that's when they give up everything and like give it to what's his name? I forgot their grandson.
Parikshit
Maharaj, and then they leave everything to him and they instruct him and how to rule, and they leave for the Antim Yatra.
Yeah, that's a beautiful point. So anyone else? Rahul, Naresh, Ashok? You want to add anything else?
Prabhuji, I had a question actually. We spoke about...
Nice tilak, huh? Nice tilak.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, like we discussed about this, it's not maybe related to Swati Mataji's point, but do you have any pointers on how to identify which class we fall in, Prabhuji? Like Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishnav, or Shudra? How do we like identify ourselves? Because I think I am at that stage. So I know we are all fighting a war inside us, like Arjuna, but yeah, I'm still not sure what I'm good at, or what my passion is, or what my profession is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this one.
So in one sense, we are all Shudras. In today's age, with the type of work that we are doing, assuming we are all software engineers here, right, on this call.
Right.
That means we are working for someone else. Okay. That means we're all Shudras. So that is at a high level. Okay. Now, when we take up this path of Krishna consciousness, Bhakti Yoga, and start progressing, we have to get purified. And as Krishna explained in chapter 18, there are two ways how we can get purified. Purification through Karma Yoga, or purification through Varnashrama Dharma. So following Varnashrama Dharma is more easier than following Karma Yoga. Okay. So now how do we identify where do I fit into these four categories, four classes: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So Krishna created these four classes of men based on the qualities and the type of work they do. Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam guna karma vibhagasha. Shloka from chapter 4. Chaturvarnyam, four varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam. That means I created these four varnas based on guna karma. Guna is their attitude or the qualities. And then karma is the activities. Based on the activities that one performs, they are classified as Brahmana, or classified as Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. So two things: the qualities and the type of work that we do. So now, ignoring the software job, which is a Shudra type of job, you identify what you are mostly inclined to. You identify what you are mostly inclined to. For example, now I can say with pride that I'm no longer a software engineer. Okay, I'm not a Shudra. I'm inclined to do business, and that's a quality of Vaishya. Vaishya, what are their duties? Farming, cow protection, business. Okay. Farming, cow protection. Yeah. Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam. Okay, from chapter 18 again. Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam. Krishi is farming, the Vyavasayam. Goraksha is farming. Vanijyam, Goraksha is cow protection. Vanijyam is business. So now I have my own business. So I can say with pride that I am no longer a Shudra. I'm not working for anybody. So like that, over a period of time, you'll figure out, okay, where you best fit into, which class you best fit into. Are you more inclined to only preaching? For example, Naresh, after 2-3 years, he might say, Prabhu, I have given up everything now. Yeah, this is enough. I'm done with this samsara sagara. This samsara sagara. I'm only into preaching.
Samsara dara navanila no.
The samsara is is burning fire.
Yeah.
Fire. So I'm done. Okay, I need a break. Now I want to become a preacher. So then he'll be Brahmana. He'll be classified as Brahmana. Or, Rahul. So he wants to become a, leader, like Attapur temple. He wants to take some leadership service in that temple and perform those services, like temple management, raising funds for the temple or temple management. So he'll be a Kshatriya. Okay. And so on. So you will figure out over a period of time, you will figure out what you are mostly inclined to and what type of activities you would love to do. So that's what defines your classification.
Probably can one person be in multiple versions? For example, let's say like we were talking about Naresh Prabhu, right?
Yeah.
That is my next question.
Naresh Prabhu, he is now taking Bhakti Vish classes like you.
Yeah.
In his house, he is taking Bhakti Vish classes.
Yeah.
And he's not engaging in other activities, like materialistic activities.
Yeah. So he's preaching.
He probably has residual income, like he has 10 different houses and rent is coming, so he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not even managing the business because he has given it to a CPA. You do it.
Yeah.
Give me my $1 million and I'm okay.
He's a full-time devotee.
Okay. So now he's a full-time devotee.
Yeah.
And now he's preaching in the temple, but occasionally he is also going and raising funds.
Yeah.
Maybe for cow protection, like Maharaj has a farm.
Yeah.
So maybe he's going for the Maharaj farm, or maybe he's going for the temple, or maybe there's someone who's making a new temple in Renton.
Yeah.
They're making a new temple and they're like, Naresh Prabhu, you're such a good preacher.
Yeah.
You come preach in a temple and you also help us raise funds.
Yeah.
So then can he be into different, like multiple varnas?
So the two examples that you gave, one is preaching, one is raising funds, right? So one is a duty of Kshatriya, raising funds, the duty of Kshatriya, and preaching is Brahmana.
Correct.
So
you have a charger?
Yeah, battery is almost dying. Huh? Okay.
Continue.
Okay, we'll continue this discussion and in 2 minutes and then we'll end. The battery is ending. Okay. So yeah, even though he may be performing the duties of two varnas, his primary duty will be from one varna.
Okay.
Preaching. Let's say preaching is his primary duty.
Okay.
Occasionally, he may be doing duties of other varnas.
Right.
Occasionally he may be taking care of the cows.
Okay.
Occasionally he may be raising funds.
Okay. Maybe working for some other temple, which is also kind of like a Shudra, because then you're working for someone.
Yeah. But his primary focus is in one varna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I took an example of Naresh, but I think Madhuri is on that line, right? The other day she was telling her goal is to live in US for another 2-3 years and then go to India and then take up preaching as a full-time activity.
Nice.
So very soon Madhuri will become Brahmana.
You are already Brahmana.
Naresh is already doing both Brahmana and Kshatriya duties. Is that right, Madhuri? Maybe you are eating lunch. Huh?
No, she's on mute. She's speaking, but she's on mute.
Okay, you're on mute.
Oh, I missed some part, Prabhuji. Like I just went.
I said I gave an example. I took an example of Naresh, right? Saying that. So very soon he might say that okay, I'm enough. I'm fed up with all these material things. Now I'll start preaching and become Brahmana. In the end, I remembered what you said last 2 weeks ago. That was your goal, right? 2 years you want to go back to India and then take up preaching full time.
I'm not sure about preaching, but I'll be a full-time student of knowledge and maybe like farming a little bit or something like that. Yeah, at least help in farming or If I'm that much equipped, if I have that much knowledge to like preach others, sure, definitely. But hoping that I can spread the word someday. like at least to and make change at least one person in a positive way. But yeah, that is like a far like a very far sighted goal. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Someday.
So Rahul, the short answer is time will reveal everything. In next few years, you will hear who is Brahmana, who is Kshatriya, who is Vaishnava, who is Shudra.
Don't worry, we are all Vaishnavas, so you're out of the Varna system. No, it is true. Like it is also said that when someone takes upon Krishna Bhakti,
They become Vaishnava.
they become Vaishnava.
Yeah.
And if they're not married, and when they're getting married, go ahead. When they're getting married, especially as per the Hindu dharma or Sanatan dharma, when you're getting married, they ask you for your gotra. So someone has a Kashyap gotra and someone has a different kind of gotra. So when someone takes upon Krishna Bhakti, their gotra changes as well. Then their gotra becomes Vaishnava gotra. Achyuta gotra. Yeah. So it is very much possible when we meet next after 2 or 3 years. What is your Varna? I'm a Vaishnava. That's it. A super soul. So, jokes apart, I mean, I'm not ridiculing the question, but there is a possibility.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anyone? Ashok?
No, Prabhuji. I mean, like, I
Okay.
have some questions, but it was related to chapter 4. But when the chapter comes, we will discuss. Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I have a question too, but I'll ask in the next class, Prabhuji.
Okay. Swati? You have anything?
No, I was just thinking what I will do 3 years later.
Vision.
You'll become
I
a
think I
Kshatriya.
know. I think I know somewhat, but yeah.
Yeah, you'll become a Kshatriya, senior director at Facebook.
No. Leaving all that, I'll go and Desh Seva is my thing.
Desh
Going
Seva.
to India.
US.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Bhagavad Gita will change you in the next 3 years. Instead of Desha Seva, you will say Madhava Seva.
In Krishna consciousness, Desh Seva is my thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Actually, Madhava Seva is also Desh Seva, Mataji, because then you are helping devotees, maybe like you're part of organizing food campaign for the people who are hungry, or you're part of crop protection program. So being in Madhava Seva or Bhakti Seva, you can still do Desh Seva. So you can combine it.
That time will reveal.
Yeah, time will reveal. So Naresh, you have anything to say?
I'm happy to be surrounded and enjoying the conversation, listening to the conversation, like I'm taking a bath.
Yeah.
Love more and more.
To be surrounded by Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra. Rahul, last thing. Rahul, anything you have to say?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay.
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. It's almost 3. I think we'll end the call here. Thank you everyone for joining. We'll see you next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.